That is right, Mr. Dunson. But might be old Cookie might not like grubbing the trip all that way.
Welcome back to our channel. Walter Brennan is no stranger to those who love classic cinema. He didn't shine as a dazzling star, but he left a deep impression with supporting roles filled with depth and nuance. With 3 Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actor, Brennan became a symbol of worn, weathered characters who had seen it all. However, few know that behind the gentle, kind face on screen was a complex man with highly controversial political views. From a beloved actor, Walter Brennan gradually became a figure of debate due to his unpredictable statements and actions. If you once admired his aged, experienced characters on screen, join us as we delve into the surprising story of Walter Brennan, from the heights of his career to the darker sides of his beliefs and personal life. Early life. Walter Brennan, born on July 25, 1894, in Lynn, Massachusetts, was not a boy who grew up in luxury or easy conditions. He was the son of William John Brennan, a talented engineer with a passion for inventions, and Margaret Elizabeth Flanagan, a devoted mother who cared deeply for her family. The Brennan family, though not wealthy, lived a stable life, where the values of perseverance, hard work, and family responsibility were always upheld. As the eldest child in the family, Walter was expected by his parents to follow in his father's footsteps in engineering. Life in Lynn, not far from their home in Swampscott, was where Walter's character was shaped. Independent, strong-willed, but also deeply curious about the world around him. Although his father hoped Walter would pursue a career in engineering, the young boy soon showed a deep passion for the arts, especially acting. During his teenage years, Walter participated in amateur performances in local plays and school productions, a way for him to naturally express his acting talent. In 1914, Walter was sent by his parents to attend Rindge Technical School in Cambridge, a preparation for a future in engineering, as his family desired. Yet it seemed that the artistic blood within him quietly flowed on. While Walter performed well academically, his mind was always drawn to the roles he played in stage productions and theatrical performances. However, his life took a different turn when World War I broke out. When war erupted, Walter, like many young American men, did not hesitate to enlist. He was assigned to the 101st Field Artillery Regiment and was sent to fight in France. This was a harsh chapter in his life, not only because of the dangers on the battlefield, but also due to an unexpected event. During a battle, Walter was exposed to mustard gas, which severely damaged his vocal cords. As a result, his voice became hoarse and high-pitched, a distinctive feature that would later become unmistakable in his acting career. After returning from the war, Walter worked for a newspaper company in Boston as a financial reporter. However, this chapter of his life soon came to a close, opening the door to more ambitious goals. In the early 1920s, Walter switched to real estate in California, a decision that brought considerable success and allowed him to accumulate a significant fortune. But tragedy struck in 1925 when the real estate market crashed and Walter lost most of his wealth. Though he faced hardship, this was not the end for him. In the darkest of times, one of his workers suggested that he try acting, and this was the field where Walter would eventually shine. With no money but filled with determination, Walter stepped into the film industry. He began working with Universal Studios, taking on small roles in their films. Although the work was not as glamorous as he had hoped, it marked the beginning of new opportunities and doors opening for him. While Walter had entered the film industry, he did not immediately rise to stardom. It was only after many years on the challenging road of acting that things slowly began to take a turn for the better. Career. From the dream of becoming a pineapple farmer to realizing the life he always aspired to, Walter Brennan is living proof that one should never give up on their passion. For 10 years, from 1925 to 1935, Brennan took on supporting roles in many films. Although he didn't find much success early on, he persistently built his reputation, bit by bit, gradually proving himself as a reliable supporting actor in the film industry. Brennan's relentless effort eventually paid off, opening new doors for his career. The late 1930s marked the beginning of Brennan's widespread recognition, thanks to his diverse acting abilities, especially in Western films. With his distinctive voice and profound character portrayals, Brennan made a name for himself. 1935 was a turning point when he appeared in The Wedding Night, produced by Sam Goldwyn, alongside Gary Cooper. Initially, Brennan's role was a minor one, but during the filming, his part was expanded. This led him to sign a contract with Goldwyn, allowing him to be loaned out to other studios, giving him more opportunities to act. That same year, Brennan appeared in The West Point of the Air, and for the first time had a speaking role, albeit a brief one, in Bride of Frankenstein. During this time, he also worked as a stuntman. Though Brennan's career was beginning to show promise, progress was slow. His roles in many films remained small, and in some cases his scenes were even cut, an undeniable blow to an ambitious actor like Brennan. However, Brennan did not lose heart. Finally, his big break came in 1935 with the film Barbary Coast, directed by Howard Hawks and William Wyler, although Wyler was not officially credited. It was this film that gave him the chance to break away from silent, unspoken roles. That film really opened doors for me, Brennan later reflected. After this success, Brennan continued to appear in numerous films, but it wasn't until 1936 that he had a true breakthrough with his role in Three Godfathers, where he played one of the outlaws. That same year, he appeared in these three, and later took on bigger roles in The Moon's Our Home and Fury. However, it was Come and Get It, 1936, that truly allowed Brennan to shine. His performance in this film earned him his first Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. The success of Come and Get It not only brought Brennan an Oscar, but also led to a string of consecutive achievements. His next outstanding performances in Kentucky, 1938, and The Westerner, 1940, helped him secure 2 more Academy Awards, cementing his status as one of the best supporting actors in cinematic history. In an interview, Brennan shared that the moment he was punched in the face by another actor during a fight scene was the luckiest break in the world. That punch knocked out all of his teeth, requiring him to wear dentures. He humorously recounted, "In real life, I looked normal, but when needed, I could pop my teeth out and instantly look 40 years older." Following his first Oscar win, Brennan continued to captivate audiences and critics alike with a wide array of roles. His fame was not solely the result of luck, but also his unwavering dedication to the craft of acting. His role in Come and Get It made Brennan the center of attention for both producers and viewers. The film was praised for Brennan's deep and nuanced performance, as well as its portrayal of complex relationships in American society at the time. Brennan portrayed the character Swan Bostrom with subtlety and depth, crafting a character rich in emotion, serving as both a loyal friend and a business partner to Barney Glasgow. In 1936, right after the success of Come and Get It, Brennan continued to appear in numerous supporting roles such as Banjo on My Knee, 1936, She's Dangerous, 1937, and When Love is Young, 1937. Goldwyn Studios had announced that he would take the lead role in The Real Glory, but surprisingly, Brennan was entirely absent from the film. His first leading role came in 1937 with Affairs of Cappy Ricks. He then continued his work with films like Wild and Woolly, 1937, marking a new, promising phase in his career. In 1938, Brennan played Peter Goodwin, a passionate horse breeder, in the film Kentucky. This role earned him his second Oscar. In the film, Brennan portrayed Peter Goodwin with sincerity and deep emotion, serving as a moral guide for his daughter amid family conflicts. Brennan continued to showcase his acting talents through a variety of roles in many popular films. He supported Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers in The Story of Vernon and Irene Castle, 1939, and appeared in Melody of Youth and Stanley and Livingstone with Fox Studios, all released in 1939. Throughout his career, Brennan was often cast in roles that required him to appear much older than his actual age, due to his thinning hair, gaunt frame, and elderly-sounding voice, a result of the mustard gas exposure from World War I. These characteristics often landed him mature roles, which he used to carve out a unique niche in his career. His standout role in Northwest Passage, 1940, where Brennan wore dentures that made him look like he had rotting teeth, further solidified his distinctive style and talent. That same year, Fox Studios announced their intention for Brennan to star in The Man from Home, but he ended up being cast in Maryland, an attempt to replicate the success of Kentucky. In 1940, Brennan continued to leave a strong impression with his role as Judge Roy Bean in the film The Westerner. This became one of his best performances, earning him his third Oscar. In the film, Brennan played a ruthless judge who clashed with Gary Cooper's character, Cole Hardin. The contrast between Judge Bean and Cole's love for a woman whose father had been killed by Bean's henchmen highlighted Brennan's acting prowess, establishing him as an iconic figure in Western films. Following the resounding success of his 3 Academy Awards between 1936 and 1940, Walter Brennan's career continued to flourish with memorable roles, not only in films but also on television and even in music. In 1941, Walter continued his career with a role in Sergeant York, which earned him his 4th Academy Award nomination, though he didn't win this time. Nevertheless, this did not diminish his popularity or talent on the big screen. Frank Capra's Meet John Doe, 1941, in which Walter played a supporting role, further cemented his place in Hollywood. Both films proved that Walter was more than just a Western actor. He was a versatile performer who could adapt to different genres and acting styles. In the 1950s, as Westerns became increasingly popular on television, Walter Brennan continued to make a name for himself as a familiar face for younger audiences. One of his most famous television roles was as Grandpa Amos McCoy in the series The Real McCoys, 1957 to 1963. The show, a comedy about a poor West Virginia family who moved to California to farm, showcased Brennan's natural charm and acting ability. He won over many viewers with his portrayal of Grandpa Amos, a witty yet warm and understanding character. With The Real McCoys, Walter not only dominated the small screen, but also contributed to the growth of the television industry at the time. His role as Grandpa Amos spanned over 200 episodes, making him an American television icon. After 5 years on ABC, The Real McCoys moved to CBS for its final season, cementing Brennan's status as one of the most beloved television stars of the era. Brennan didn't stop at television. He also ventured into music. He released several recordings, achieving significant success with the song Old Rivers, 1962. The song, about an old farmer and his mule, had a simple, heartfelt quality that resonated with listeners. Old Rivers reached number 5 on the Billboard charts, making Walter Brennan one of the oldest artists at the time to break into the top 40. He enjoyed similar success with the song Mama Sang a Song in 1962, proving that his talents extended beyond acting into the realm of music. In 1964, Walter appeared in the short-lived ABC series The Tycoon, though the show didn't last long. However, he continued to take on various roles, including Those Callaways, 1965, his first Disney film, marking a new chapter in his career by working with the famed studio. From 1967 to 1969, Walter Brennan starred in The Guns of Will Sonnet, where he played an elderly father searching for his son, a gunslinger. The show became popular and ran for 2 seasons before ending. In the later years of his career, Walter Brennan continued to star in various films and television programs, despite his declining health. In 1969, he appeared in the TV movie The Over the Hill Gang, and its sequel, The Over the Hill Gang Rides Again, 1970, alongside Fred Astaire and Pat O'Brien. From 1969 to 1971, Brennan also appeared in CBS's To Rome with Love, starring John Forsythe, where he featured in the show's second season. However, by the 1970s, Walter's health had seriously deteriorated due to emphysema. In 1973, he was cast in Disney's Herbie Rides Again, but his health forced him to withdraw from the project, and he was replaced. Walter Brennan's final film was Smoke in the Wind, 1975, a Western completed just before his death. The film was released posthumously, marking the end of a career that spanned over 50 years and included more than 230 roles. Political views and controversies. Walter Brennan, once at the pinnacle of his acting career with 3 prestigious Oscars, came to be labeled as Hollywood's meanest man. What caused a once-beloved actor to become a symbol of hatred and cruelty? The answer lies in his extreme political views, deep-seated racism, and shocking actions. Walter was notorious for his bluntness, often coldly indifferent to the consequences. But that was only the surface. His beliefs and actions turned him into someone many considered dangerous within Hollywood. Though known for his roles in Westerns, often regarded as America's grandpa, Walter Brennan revealed a terrifyingly different side in his personal life. He did not hesitate to express his racist views, particularly during the civil rights movement in the 1960s. Brennan believed that the civil rights movement and anti-Vietnam War protests were manipulated by communist forces. His views were so extreme that he once claimed the 1965 Watts riots could have been quelled with a machine gun. He held an unwavering contempt for black people, insisting that all problems with African Americans were caused by a few of them. One of the most shocking events involving Walter Brennan was his reaction to the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In 1968, while the entire nation mourned, Walter celebrated the news of the civil rights leader's death. According to Stanley Frazen, who was present on the set of The Guns of Will Sonnet, Walter stunned everyone by rejoicing over the tragic event. And it didn't stop there. Brennan also expressed joy when he heard about the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy, an act that left many outraged and bewildered. Instead of using his fame to promote peace and love, Walter chose to spread hatred. Though born in New England, he was often portrayed on screen as a kind-hearted, down-to-earth countryman. But behind the scenes, he embraced and propagated hostile, extreme views. In 1965, Walter Brennan recorded several speeches at a convention of the John Birch Society, an ultra-conservative organization with anti-communist and anti-civil rights ideologies. In these speeches, Walter openly criticized the civil rights movement, calling it a tool of communist forces aimed at taking over America. Sadly, instead of advocating for compassion and unity, he used his platform to propagate hate and bigotry. Though he lived long before the age of social media, Walter Brennan, by modern comparison, would be seen as one of the most paranoid conspiracy theorists. He believed that the Soviet Union would invade the U.S. to destroy democracy and replace it with communism. This fear drove him to build a fallout shelter beneath his Los Angeles property, where he stockpiled guns, ammunition, food, and other essentials in preparation for the disaster he believed was inevitable. Walter even went so far as to ban his grandchildren from listening to the Beatles, fearing they would be poisoned by the moral decay of modern culture. As he grew older, Walter's paranoia worsened. He would frequently interrogate colleagues about their voting history and political views, and if he discovered anyone had not voted for the candidates he supported, he would launch into long lectures about the decline of America. Though his political and paranoid beliefs were highly controversial, they weren't as incendiary as his racist ideologies. Walter became furious when the U.S. Supreme Court banned mandatory prayer in public schools in 1962 and 1963. In 1964, he participated in the Project Prayer event in Los Angeles, where he spoke before a crowd of over 2,000 people about the importance of school prayer and voiced his opposition to the court's decision. To Walter, removing prayer from schools wasn't just a mistake. It was a harbinger of America's inevitable downfall. Personal life. Walter Brennan, a classic Hollywood icon, garnered attention not only for his illustrious acting career, but also for his controversial views and contradictory personal life. While he became famous on screen for playing gentle, kind-hearted characters, Brennan's real life was filled with its own ups and downs, as well as moments of contention. Brennan married Ruth Wells in 1920, and they remained together for 54 years until his death in 1974. The couple had 3 children, and throughout their life together, family was always the centerpiece of Brennan's world. He wasn't the type to make headlines with scandalous stories about his private life, but he was known for his simple lifestyle and his love of the land and nature. In 1940, Brennan purchased a large ranch in Joseph, Oregon. For him, this ranch wasn't just a piece of property, it was a place where he found peace after the hectic demands of his acting career. He invested in building a movie theater, a lodge, and a general store there, creating a small community he could call his second home. When he wasn't filming, Brennan often spent his time caring for the ranch, relishing the simple life alongside his family. Although Brennan kept his family life separate from the Hollywood spotlight, he wasn't immune to conflicts. He was well known for his conservative views and often expressed opinions that didn't sit well with the public. This led to frequent criticism and affected how others perceived the real man behind the actor. On top of that, Brennan's health deteriorated in his later years. He suffered from severe respiratory issues due to emphysema, and he passed away on September 21, 1974, at his home in Moore Park, California. Despite his declining health, he remained close to his wife and children, always viewing family as the greatest source of motivation in his life. Walter Brennan, though remembered for his controversial views and internal conflicts, was a symbol of simplicity and family devotion. His private life reflected a man who was both strong and quiet, always seeking peace beyond the spotlight, where the expansive ranch in Joseph became his final resting place in his life's journey. Walter Brennan left an indelible mark on the film and television industries with his rare talent and unwavering dedication. However, his extreme views tarnished the image of a seasoned actor and a man once regarded as America's grandpa. His legacy remains a topic of debate, where artistic talent and political statements cannot be separated. Whether loved or hated, Brennan remains an irreplaceable part of Hollywood history, a complex figure marked by both success and the shadows behind his brilliant career. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more exciting content. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. See you in the next video. Goodbye.